Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Welcome to the English translation of Carolina Marace's small analysis of Italian Serie A teams from this season. With the forced break due to COVID-19, Carolina's not working as a technical commentator on Sky, as there's no football. Therefore, she started a series of presentations to discuss areas of interest using her match analyst, Michele Tossani. I'm Nicola Williams, her assistant coach, and I've translated them into English so we can all benefit from the information. We hope you like it. We start this analysis first with Brescia. Brescia are at the bottom of the table this season so far after 26 games. Since the start of the season, they've actually changed their coach 4 times with 3 different coaches. They started with Eugenio Corini, then they changed to Fabio Grosso, they went back to Eugenio Corini, and now the final coach is Diego López. Although Brescia are not the last in the goals scored, the statistics indicates that they have had less shots on target than every other team in Serie A, averaging around 9.2 shots per every 90 minutes. Just to have a reference, Atalanta leads this category with an average of 17.86, and somewhere in the middle we find Sassuolo with 12.69. On the other hand, looking at both goals and shots against, they're the second last team in the league. Behind them is just Lecce. The system most used by Brescia is 4-3-1-2, and it's the formation where we find 2 interesting young players here in yellow, Cistana and Tonali. They've had a lot of interest by many clubs. Unfortunately, we don't find them in the next slide because against Sassuolo, the 2 players were injured. In the 4 matches that López has coached the team, he's used systems 4-3-1-2, 4-4-1-1, but most of all 4-3-2-1. What he's been working on mostly are the 3 players in attack, preferring to have 2 trequartistas, which are attacking midfielders, and 1 centre forward. If we have a look at the non-ball possession of Brescia and how they set up defensively with their forwards, you can see that BALOTELLI starts the initial pressing from the edge of the circle, and Aye and Zemmerel block and screen the passes to the centre midfielders behind them. With this system, the defensive phase, you can see that Brescia have density in the central zone, but can be exposed in the space that's left wide. In their half of the field, however, each individual player and the team are very intense in winning the ball back, and especially focused on the first control of the opponent. In this category, looking at the statistics, Brescia is actually ranked first for all balls intercepted with an average of 46.18 per match. This is possible because they do have that low centre of gravity, i.e. the defence is low. This image shows exactly that. So if Sassuolo do play the ball wide where there is space, it's the internal midfielder that has to come out to defend this player. In ball possession, when building up, if it doesn't start from a long goal kick, then they will use the 2 central defenders that don't look to pass the ball into the centre midfielders because they're usually blocked by the opponent, but open up to the fullback. The fullback then looks to combine with the typical movement where the internal midfielder makes a run wide, and this was actually the movement of the coach Corini. If we have a look at how Brescia attack, you can see that they have a bigger penetration on the right-hand side because they've got 2 very dynamic players, Sabelli and Bissoli, that push more than on the opposite side. If they do look to go into the middle to use De Sena, then what he's likely to do is switch the ball like he does here against Sassuolo to the other side to find some more space. In this slide, where Brescia is playing against Napoli, the team's playing 4-4-1-1, and Balotelli, being the forward, tends to check towards the ball and allows the space in behind free for Zemmerel to go in. This is a heat map of the areas used by Balotelli during his matches this season. As you can see, he has a greater presence on the left and on the 3/4 of the field, between the middle and final third, a little bit lower than you would expect to find a centre forward. This could depend on the difficulty that the team has to bring the ball forward over into the opponent's half, but it also doesn't explain why he doesn't go to the right. Therefore, it looks more like he has this tendency as a player to operate on the left in this area than as a central forward. So we can have a look at the statistics to see the performance in numbers of the Brescia forwards. From this data, for an average of 90 minutes, we can see that Donnarumma is operating as the real centre forward inside the penalty area. Aye and Torregrossa supporting forwards, or could be the second forward if playing with 2. Balotelli arrived this year, and until now he hasn't scored like he would. It's true that he is a former national team player and therefore has scored more goals than the others, but just 1 compared to the amount of game time that he's had over Donnarumma and Torregrossa. This is because Balotelli is lazy to get inside the box, especially after his first action to lay the ball off. And it's also that he prefers to operate in the area where we've already identified. Maybe it could be more functional for the team going forwards to have Torregrossa and Donnarumma as the two forwards, injury permitting, with Balotelli operating as the attacking midfielder behind them. However, we'd have to ask Torregrossa to run back to take part in the defensive phase. And that's all for this analysis of Brescia. The next team to be analysed will be Bologna, coached by Sinisa Mihajlovic.
Audio Jungle.